Yo, welcome back to Parental Advisory. Welcome back to Parental Advisory. We're about to get right into the discussion of the black pill. Make sure you leave a like. Make sure you leave a thumbs up. We're trying something new today. Let me know if you can hear this audio. We got an introduction. It's only going to be about a minute and a half long. Let me know if you can hear this audio. If you can, let's go ahead and get this party on started. Parental Advisory. Let's go.
Only thing I think about is cash and the money. Make the baby slap up at the party. I said I'm running up the stairs on you dummies. I'm running legs like Shikari. I can't sit down anymore at the spot, cause I'm too hot. I ran it up, but the mud never stopped. If you made it from the bottom, turn it up.
Hey,
Let's go.
you hear the music?
All right. Yeah, all that talk is cheap. I could book your flight. Now we scared of planes. Now we scared of heights. Scared of heights. Scared of trains. Now we scared of bikes. Now we scared of cars. Now we scared of life.
Yo, I want to say something. I'm playing this song because I want y'all to know. Black pill, guys.
I'm running X like Shikari. I can't sit down anymore at the spot, cause I'm too hot. I ran it up, but the mud never stays. If you made it
Yo. Welcome to the live stream, y'all. Welcome to the live stream. We are back at Parental Advisory Podcast. It's a daytime edition, man. It's good to see y'all back in the building, man. I got one more song for y'all coming up. This is Bombing Off. If you enjoying these tunes, make sure to leave a like. This is the tape, man. This is the mixtape. This is the album. This is 32. Make sure you leave a like if you come into the building, ladies and gentlemen. Bombing Off.
Music and sharing the love. Spread it all over the planet. Go. Pull to the joint like free throw eyes. See right there, don't see no line. I was running up legal lines. I don't hustle,
Don't need no crime. Now I'm tired of going to jail. I've been this bitch like 3 or 4 times.
I still had to pay $3K for my tickets and legal fines. Yeah, I took off and end up flying. Anything I do stop trying. Watch you say you ain't stepping on mine. I'm not faking in front or line. I get with you, just give me a little time. I got so many things on my mind. No cafe, I'm still on my grind. Why these boys ain't follow me, huh? Why they niggas ain't hard at me, huh? Hard body built like Artemis, huh? 32 just to start me, hit you in your artery, huh? I shape shift like pottery, huh? I'm so suave like Connery, huh? I need pills, I'm honorary, huh? Music is just a part of me, huh? Man, I'm the shit like Carterman, huh? Got a big drum, don't start me, huh? I'm sensei since I was knee high. Still smoking that Zod fire. Getting outside, I mean beats up. Go. Baby, it's cute as fuck. I don't date no Mona Lisa. Money up front when I'm doing my deals. I don't take credit, don't take visa. No fear, my heart, no chill. Nigga ain't calling no police, I'm back on real. Keep your phone close, I'ma need ya. I'm back on pills. You would thought I had amnesia. I was just kicking it down the south. I moved out west like I was Steve Kerr. Sitting on curb, I'm sipping on bird. Man, we're back to the Parental Advisory Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. It's good to have y'all back in the building. It's good to have y'all back in the building, man. So check it out. Check it out. We got a call-in special show today. That means you're going to have the ability to call. Let me know how you feel about this particular instance, subject, situation. We're talking about the black pill. What is the black pill? Let me get that Coke out of the way because they are not paying it, nigga. What is the black pill? Let me try and get my hair in a little bit better of a way before I start podcasting away. I start crying today. Well, that looks worse. Fucking hell. You know, it's always the same damn. You know what? Doesn't matter. Because I'm black pilled. So I don't give a fuck. You know why? Because that's the fucking definition of it. The history and the etymology of the black pill is as follows. Thank you for everybody that's donating on the channels. Cash App, because we are demonetized because I've fucked up on YouTube, all right? But we'll be back after 26 days. The black pill is a philosophy that argues that physical attractiveness is the most critical factor in determining men's dating success, especially in modern Western countries. A man's money, status, and social skills are argued to be other factors of secondary importance, which is known as the LMS theory, or the looks, money,
status theory. For those of you who have been on the channel for quite some time now, you will be familiar with this terminology. For those of you who are new to the channel, welcome to the channel. Make sure you subscribe. LMS, an expanded or alternate definition, proposes that a man's dating and life outcomes generally rely on genetically determined traits. What is a genetically determined trait? That's how tall you are. That's how good looking you are. That's how your eyebrows are shaped, or your jawline is shaped, or what size shoe you wear. If you catch my drift, pause. As a consequence of these beliefs, black pillars often argue that men's dating issues require systemic rather than individual solutions. Now, that's where we start to get into a bit of an issue here, ladies and gentlemen. A systemic solution rather than an individual solution. What the black pillars are quite literally saying is that there is a problem with the system. And that's something that the manosphere has been talking about as well. Here in the Parental Advisory Podcast, if you're looking at this gentleman in the background, you will know that his name is Kevin Samuels. Looks like I'm getting a text from somebody, my family member who's watching me right now. Of course, they want to text right now. Shout out to you watching me right now, family. I love you so much. Kevin Samuels preached about the black pill a little bit, but his black pill teaching didn't quite catch. I want to read to you before we open up the phone lines, and you tell me your experience with the black pill, with dating, why you are a low-value male, whether you've been divorced, whether you're going through a divorce, whether you're currently going through a breakup, whether you think she's cheating on you. I want you to call into the show, and I want you to let me know. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and drop that link right now. That way, if you want to get a head start on things, you are more than able to do that. Don't forget that we do have the best moderator in the world. Her name is Organic Black. Make sure you show her some love. Yo, that had to look crazy. To join the panel, I want to hear your stories. I will pin this link down. Thank you, Stream Elements Bot. Man, it's so good to have Baby Gang, Organic Black in the building, seeking him daily. Excellent. Brandon is the building as well. We're coming in clear here. That's what they define the black pill as. I found a story. Check this out. If you have a story similar to this, please let me know. This is from the infamous Reddit. Reddit.com has come in through yet again for some prime time, daytime. Good stuff. Can a true incel be fixed? I'm biting a bullet posting this on here. If you want, you can remove and ban me. I'll probably remove it myself. I'm a 19 male, black-pilled KHV incel. I'm not one of those folks who's just insecure about their bodies and depressed about not finding love. I'm a stereotypical incel, the bitter, angry, misogynist kind. I started hating myself. Then I started hating Indian and Asian women. My goodness. I guess we're on this channel. We're safe. Then I started hating all women. Well, we talk about this here, and this is a side effect or a collateral damage somewhat of the manosphere, right? But this guy, he's being pretty open with it and pretty forthcoming with it. Said he started to hate all women. Maybe that's you. Spending some time in the manosphere myself, it's pretty easy to fall into that, especially when you start to check off or you start to see some truths that the manosphere is actually saying. It's hard not to completely tip over the boat, right? I hate everything except music, films, and books, the author goes on to say, but there's nothing I hate more than me. If I'm not in school, I spend most of my time in front of my computer. I frequent incel forums, Discord servers, Reddit. I have bothered random strangers by DMing them in Reddit and Discord. I don't groom myself except for the daily shower and a monthly haircut. I have been wearing the same 2 to 3 outfits for the past year. I rarely talk to anyone in school. I frequently miss school. God almighty. Where's my sound effects here? Did I not download any more sound effects? I think I need to download my sound effects here. Whoa. My goodness. I have hurt myself in hate and rage before. It's not frequent, but it has happened. I haven't done anything wrong in my real life. I don't talk like ever. I know my thinking is fucked up, so I try my best to keep my mouth shut. The reasons I went this way is pathetic and sad, just like me. I always knew I was unattractive. So I want you for 1 second to try and picture yourself in the mind of this guy. Think about the paragraph that you just heard. He doesn't groom himself. He wears the same outfits 2 to 3 times per year. And I want you to take this a step further with what I'm getting ready to say, right? As crazy as this is, The black pill originally started as a response to the red pill. That's right. The men who believe in this doctrine, who don't groom themselves, who stay in the same outfits, and it's easy to fall into this once you go into the red pill and you start to see the true nature of women and this, and that, right? These guys are a response of disagreement for the red pill guys. They don't believe the Andrew Tates are right. They believe for them, their lives are completely over. And we're making this live stream today as a request. I was going to do a pre-recorded video, but I figured the live stream and a pre-recorded video would probably do justice for it. So we will be doing a pre-recorded video for that person who requested this video today. It's over. So this guy's looks alone are enough for him to completely mentally just check out of the system. His looks alone are so much of a grievous for him that it's completely overwhelmed his entire life. He goes on to say, the reason I went this way again is pathetic and sad, just like me. I always knew I was unattractive. I'm short, brown. I don't know, is brown a part of being unattractive? Jesus Christ. I have no muscle definition. Well, being brown, if you have melanin, if you're black, then you probably have the better opportunity to have muscle definition. But you don't see that way, right? I am skinny except my flabby gut. There are gyms all over the place. Of course, that's a solution. My hair is greasy. I have acne all over my face. I have hair all over my fucking body, dark circles around my eyes, narrow shoulders, wide hips, small hands, fat ass, you name it. Ever since I was a kid, nobody forgot to mention my unattractiveness to me, particularly my skin color. Ever since I was born, people made comments about my skin. My mom always liked to remind me that I was dark and I needed to do this and that to fix it. Folks in school also made very fucked up comments about it. It hasn't even stopped today. After puberty, I had the curse of being short. You poor bastard. It hasn't even stopped after puberty. I'm still short, and I'm not going to go into details about the shit I faced for being short. Can I be fixed? I'm not talking about finding love or anything. I know I'm too abhorrent to even think about that. I've thought about going into an asylum of sorts and just spending the rest of my life in idleness and boredom and then killing, and I'm hurting myself. I'm further demonetized now. In peace. I've tried looking into therapy and it's too expensive. Well. So we don't have any callers yet. I'm going to go ahead and respond to this man as if he was a caller, as if he was looking for advice from me, because one of you are going to be listening to this today, looking for that manosphere video, looking for those videos that help you figure out the solution of what that girl's thinking, what's going on inside of her head. I can help you the best I can, because I can tell you what, sometimes it is a mind fuck trying to figure out what's going on inside of that girl's head. I do understand and I do get it, but you have to also understand that it sometimes is a mind fuck trying to figure out what's going on inside of y'all's head as well. And I particularly am no victim of that non-victimship. I am a victim of it as well, right? Sometimes I have some really crazy, wildly not conducive to normality type of thoughts, as they might seem to be, as far as what my goals or desires are. And that's why I'm here on YouTube talking to you with what, I don't know, a few people watching, hoping that this is going to work out into something that's more favorable for my life. But the reality of the situation is that what I've chosen to do is a very, very, very tough, very, very, very tough, not impossible life choice as far as career, right? Now, the black pill guys are on the opposite end of this spectrum, where they, see that they don't have the ability to choose anything, and they've just been dictated this horrible set of realities. And I'll be honest with you, right? If you're a guy that's so ugly that nobody will ever want to date you, and people shy away from you, and people don't want to associate with you, and you get stares when you're out in public all the time, quite frankly, there's probably not much help for you outside of cosmetic surgery. But I think the reality of it is, and Baby was just telling me this a little bit earlier, is that a lot of guys, I don't think y'all are really as ugly as you put yourselves out to be necessarily. But what happens is, just like me, you end up compounding your ugliness by not picking a fucking struggle. So you can't be broke and ugly, right? It's just not going to work out for you because you're already ugly. So if you're ugly, you're going to either need to have money, you're going to need to have charisma, some kind of status of some sort. People are like, well, how are you supposed to get status if you're ugly? People who are good looking have status. People who are well-to-do have status. People who come from a good family background have status. What if I don't have a good family background and I don't look like Tom Cruise or Tyreek, whatever? I don't know. What if I don't have any of that? How am I supposed to get that status? Well, I mean, the problem with that is, once again, what are you going to do? Just give up? And some of them do preach on giving up. Now, let's go to the solutions. Let's see what some of the solutions are. Some of the solutions is this. One of the solutions is stop reading incel threads. That's akin to, well, stop watching the Fresh and Fit videos and the Manosphere videos. Another person says echo chamber. Somebody else jokes and says eliminating exposure works 100% of the time. I don't know how you're supposed to do that. That's not realistic. How do you eliminate exposure to yourself to the human populace? How do you tell the difference between normal people and incel threads? Sometimes it's hard to tell. That's another response they said here. Somebody else said, when I was 19, those forums and boards did not exist. But racism, yeah, I don't know. Racist and traumatic experience with my appearance did. I'm not tall, broad shoulders, pale with a blonde beard. I'm average, dark skin with a flappy belly and scrawny legs. I'm like this because my ancestors were fierce motherfuckers who refused to die despite slavery, oppression, persecution, all the terrible things colonialism did to my country. We were starved, ignored, denied, and made to believe that our bodies are ugly. Every day you look in the mirror at yourself and hear that little voice saying, oh, you're so ugly. Remember that you're a fighter, the descendant of those who fought for their sustenance. Be proud. Our roots and are old and nothing can stop us. Jesus. You see, the difference between black pill, red pill, green pill, white pill, whatever it might be, at the end of the day, all comes down to the same fucking mindset. Same word, right? The same word, which is mindset. Your mindset. In school, they used to tell us your attitude determines your altitude. Because I had a bad attitude a lot of the times. Not a bad attitude because I felt I was right. So necessarily, maybe because the bad attitude will still get you into wrong places, but a good attitude will get you into right places. Conversely, right? And so these sound like they're two brown boys having a conversation with each other here, but one brown boy who's past the age of 19, who's advising this other brown boy at the age of 19, is telling him, hey, listen, I know you're feeling the way you're feeling right now, and guess what? You might be right about feeling the way you're feeling right now, but there's a legitimate reason as to why you could still start to take pride even in your appearance right now. Sure, you might not be the Mr. Olympia body, right? But you can take pride in your appearance right now and start to change course on some things, right? That's how you start to establish that self-confidence. It starts in the head. But let's go ahead and go past this, because there's a lot of guys who, once again, are so far gone. And let's get into another story here. Are so far gone, who've had so many traumatic experiences that it's like, you know what? Truth, I mean, I hear you, bro, but honestly, like, why? This is posted by Flow Scholar, huh? In a common position a lot of men find themselves in. I could use your advice. If you find yourself in this position, let me know. Give me a call or click that link and you could join in the panel. I'll post the link up in another second. If you want to join the panel, be on the lookout. We're going to post that link up in another minute. You could join the panel. Let me know. I'm hurt that most likely I'll be left out of the mating process, is how he starts off this comment. This is 2 years ago, might I add, ladies and gentlemen. He says, I'm a KHHV. I don't know what that means exactly. I'm 18, male, 5'7", 193. I'll go more detailed shortly, but I need to make sure to ask one thing of you all. Empathy. I understand that we are all in the same battle. We are probably in different positions, and it would be helpful to know you got yours, and more importantly, how people like mine can get me, or people like me can succeed, Jesus Christ. I have severe cystic acne. On medication for it right now. Short, receding, and going bald. Conventionally ugly and not smart or funny enough to be above average. So he's covered physical and mental traits all in one sentence right here. Just kind of giving you the short of it. The acne has left scars all over me. Least of all, my face, thankfully, although it would make me look a little different. LOL. My thinning hair is just icing on the cake, so he's balding. If I were better looking, it wouldn't bother me in the slightest. My eyes are very dark and beady, unevenly spaced apart, and, quote, prey-like, to use cringe terms. My nose is squint and I have a mildly bad skin in regards to pores, etc. With no jawline and a chin that blends into my neck, my side profile is literally flat. I look like a thumb with shoes on. Not to mention, I have a small Johnson. Pause. I know. Chase excellence, not women, and women shouldn't be the goal. He says in parentheses, and they shouldn't. But these things are easier said than done when no one has ever showed any interest in you, and you are visibly disgusted by the thought of you. I want to make this clear. I in no way want sympathy. I'm not looking. I'm looking for a way out. I apologize. At the moment, I'm on the job hunt, losing weight, lifting weights, and back into martial arts. Will be in my second year of college for psychology and social science in August, at the same time where my seasonal job starts. I'm trying to read more and take daily steps to make my life better and should be competing by the start of next year. The question is, how does a guy like me get laid? How do I have a girlfriend, a wife? How does one succeed while staring into the void of eternal loneliness? I listened to Kevin Samuels and Entrepreneurs in Cars. Let's go ahead and stop right here for 1 second. And the reason I put Kevin Samuels, as we kind of go back to him and get ready to pull Kevin Samuels video up, maybe I'll play it, maybe I won't, because I'm already kind of a friend on YouTube, is because, again, Kevin did have a certain element of helping men get better that just wasn't talked about enough or wasn't spread appropriately enough. It didn't go viral as much. This guy said he listened to Kevin Samuels and Entrepreneurs in Cars, two very different content creators who do very different things very differently. Kevin Samuels is on the beration of black women or modern women, however you want to interpose those two subjectable words. Not subjectable words. Forgive me, because black women is not suggestible people. You know what I'm saying? Forgive me, y'all. Or Entrepreneur in Cars, who talks about, how women are, but not necessarily to women. He doesn't try to embarrass women. He just speaks very really maturely and honestly, openly about women. And he's married actively currently with a wife and I believe a family. Whereas Kevin Samuels wasn't married. He was divorced and was possibly on child support. I'm not sure. Did Kevin actually have a child? I don't know. Nobody knows what was happening with Kevin Samuels. Two different content creators. However, you need to understand that this speaks a lot when it comes to the realm of dating, right? The manosphere is very different between black and white. We're not here to talk about that right now. But it seems as though the average man that this dude goes on to say right here, it seems as though the average man and above don't need to become wildly rich and wealthy just to have a decent success rate with women. It sort of happens naturally. I was rated a 3 out of 4 on Photo Feeler. I don't know what that is, but I guess it's a photo rating app. That's where I'm at looks-wise and what originally drove me to the black pill. But I'm done with nihilism. I actually want to know how I can fight this regardless if the entire deck is stacked against me. So this guy's not fully black pill just yet. I think he's still on the fringe. He's getting ready to cross over to the land of no beyond, the danger zone, as K Sam would say. The truth is, he goes on to say, that most women are hypergamous and solipsistic. So how does a guy like me find a way to win? Any advice is appreciated. I'd love to know if you are in any similar situation or have yet been still found a way to succeed. I know it's only appealing because I've never had it, but being rejected by a woman is literally a spit in the face from nature itself. I just want to be able to look in the mirror and not see worthlessness. Well, my brethren, let's see if we can help you out here. What do you say, huh? To a certain extent, I think this is a difficult conversation for somebody like me to have. Pat myself on the shoulder here. No, but seriously, though, I think this is a different conversation for a lot of people to have, in good faith. Because being ugly is probably one of the biggest, confidence shakers that you can have. And I know we all talk about, it's about you. I know I talked about just even a few seconds ago. It's about your mentality. It's about your mindset. It's about this. It's about that, right? I think that a big part of what kind of, is going to help, and I'll give you some direct advice if you are a person that's very physically challenged. I'll give you some of those direct advice and those pointers here in a little bit. Let me drop the link one more time. If you are a person who is physically challenged, as I like to say, here's the link. Thank you all for joining. You can click that StreamYard link if you'd like to join. Again, people can say the nice and the things, but we're not really walking in your shoes like that, right? I can never fully understand, because I'm a decently attractive male, what it would be like for a woman to wholeheartedly feel unsafe, disgusted, embarrassed to be in your presence. Like, I know that's got to be confidence and earth shaking, especially in a time, in a day and an age like the internet, right? So a lot of these guys are truly looking for advice. They're looking for help outside of the fresh and fit type of mockery and things of that nature. Angel Martin, good to see you in the building, right? Okay, Black says, Lord have mercy. Good to see Sherelle in the building. And once again, the problem is they end up finding the Kevin Samuels, who just makes it their prerogative to tell women that they need to lower their standards. But the problem is that's not going to change the way that anybody feels about themselves individually. You have to understand, and I'm going to go back to this really quickly, that they believe that this is a fundamental system problem. And this is why, ladies and gentlemen, that I already knew, kind of going back a long time ago, that this was going to start to get looked at by the federal government and by the United States government, because these guys preach against the matrix, right? Or they preach against, the system of whatever it might be. And there's a point here. Let me try and see if I can't find it again. I had it highlighted on this page, and it was a very fascinating point. These are some of the black pill guys. If you're looking at the screen, I think these are the level of ugliness that these guys somewhat talk about, right? Where and check it out here. This is a good meme, right? There's nothing I can think of. If you're looking at my screen right now, there's a football player that's kissing a cheerleader, and she's kissing him on the field. He's tall. He's number 81. The caption says, "There's literally nothing I can think of that's more cringe than some genetic, dead-end, socially outcasted, low-status loser trying to, quote, self-improve to fit in society." That's what the red pillars think, right? Andrew Tate wants you to self-improve, to hit the gyms. More plates, more dates. That's another red pill channel, right? Steph is cold, another red pill channel. Get in the gym. More weights. The red pill is based off of making yourself the best man you can be. The black pill has lost all hope. Completely nihilistic. It's like they're so far off the mark, this is saying, I don't even know where to begin with them. The average person, and even just above average, just exist. And these things you consider, quote, normal, just happen to them. No high schooler ever had to, quote, self-improve to get a girlfriend. He just existed. Thought it would be cool and fun to play sports, and a girl was attracted to him, and they gravitated towards each other. There's no thought onto any of this. These things just happen through the natural flow of life. No, quote, self-improvement necessary. That's what happens when you're not a genetic dead end mentally ill freak. You don't ever find yourself one night lying alone in bed wondering why you don't have a single friend, or you've never kissed a girl at 23 years old. You don't devise a plan to stop touching your Johnson for 6 months in order to look a girl in the eye. You just exist. You go with societal flow, and you end up with a wife, nice job, a house, and some kids. If you missed out on this flow, it's because you're probably it's because you're complete genetic shit. And he does go on to, in this case, add some pictures. And the first picture is blue pill. So this is before you get to the red pill. I guess this is before you get to the heartbreak, right? You're in your teenage years. If you're, a man, or even, hey, you can be a black pill woman, I suppose, right? You can be a black pill woman. You're in your teenage years and things are going okay, and you realize that you don't have a date to the prom, and you realize that you haven't gotten asked out by anybody, and you're getting ready to graduate. You've been stressed out, and you still don't have a date to the prom. You don't go to prom. You're getting ready to go to college, but you don't really want to go to college. Not really much going on. It's not like there's anybody to meet. And then you discover Andrew Tate. You discover, I don't know, Angry Man. You discover somebody, and they offer some good advice sometimes, but overall, they just end up causing you to go into this depressive state where you're in the red pill. You start getting older, you're not taking care of yourself because you weren't taking care of yourself in high school. You only thought about girls. You didn't, and there's nothing wrong with that. Some people just had a much tougher time in high school. Some people had a much tougher time at home. Some people had a much tougher time just in life, period. So they couldn't focus on sports. They were just trying to get through school and graduate so they could get the fuck out of the house. And you start to age, you start to go through different crises, and all of a sudden you're at the very end stage, that black pill stage right here, where he's pretty much become Bane for the most part, or I don't know, typewriter Bane, whatever the hell that is. And he's headed over to the Joker, right? This is a joke about holding something in reference to, I don't know, something that could possibly hurt somebody with the finger in the trigger position, but he's holding a pill, which is the black pill, essentially. These are all memes that are referencing these online discussions of people that feel like they have no hope, right? Fast forward, and now you are black pilled. Again, there's not much I can say in reality to changing and offering a solution to how you can actually physically change your appearance outside of plastic surgery and figuring out a way to make a decent amount of money. If you are that hideously ugly, you most likely will be able to make a large amount of money online because of whatever problems that you have from it. So long as you're not willing, or you're not, shunned to put out videos or shorts or things of that nature, you'll probably be able to make a decent amount of money, right? Money's going to be the ultimate solution for a guy if you're hideous, if you're very ugly. Money's going to be the great equalizer, as it is in everything for all people. But particularly ugly men, money's going to be the number one thing that you need to chase after, right? Because what money can do for you is everything that personality, looks, and things of that nature cannot. The black pillar guys are split into two separate groups. You have the guys that want to date and they want love, like we read in the stories just a few seconds ago on Reddit. And then you have the guys that want to just have intercourse with women and just want to bang women and don't feel like they'll be able to have that. Most of them, I'll be honest, want the families and they want the traditional sense, which is why they've lost all hope in essence. A lot of the red pill guys and the Andrew Tate fans aren't necessarily as traditional male, which is what we talk about on this channel. They would rather see women get berated and then continue to pump and dump whoever or what group they decide to pump and dump. The black pillars aren't necessarily looking to pump and dump or just have sexual exploitation of women. They want legitimate relationships. They want legitimate connections with people. They want legitimate vibes, and they want legitimate connection. Or I just said connection. Whatever. Interpose another word there. That's what the black pill people want. They just have accepted that they're never going to have it. Right? They've accepted they're never going to have it. I think there's a fine line and difference between accepting reality and then trying your damn hardest to do the very best you can with what you got. I think it's necessary to accept reality, and I think it's necessary to go through the pains in life and the realizations in life that there are some things that you're just not going to be able to become. I think the black pill is very akin to a kid or to a person or to that guy who's still trying to make it to the NBA, who's still trying to make it to the NFL, who's still trying to make it to the whatever. And it's like you've been working on this and you've been listening to this pickup artist and you've been watching this YouTube content creator and you've been in the gym for this long and you've hired this dating coach and you've talked to these girls and you've asked all these questions and put in all this time and all these hours at the very end, only to be told by the doctor that your physical pulled up something that was an anomaly and they can't pass you. Even if you might have the skills, you feel like you might be finally ready. Even if you finally have the things that most normal people would need to get into the league, right? They're not going to let you go because you're just so ugly. You're so hideous. You're so genetically, whatever it might be, that it's just over for you, right? I think that there is a need to accept at some point or another that the goals cannot be reached, that it's too late to go to the NBA and the NFL. But there also has to be a need to accept that doesn't mean your life is over. It doesn't mean that you're going to, that you're not going to amount to anything. It doesn't mean that you can't still have some sort of, reward from this existence, right? As much as it sucks, you can still take part in many, 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 many fun activities, even by yourself, that can bring you happiness. Like, for instance, one of my things is jet skis. I love jet skis. I haven't jet skied in years. One of my more recent things is electric scooters. Electric scooters bring me happiness. Irrespective of how I look or my relational status, I would hop on an electric scooter to have fun. The fire range, gun ranges, they're a lot of fun for me. All right. What you're going to find is when you start focusing on solutions, situations, and activities where you can plug in or plug out of the matrix, however you want to view your crisis as, when you start finding things that are more fun for you to do by yourself, other people will be attracted to you. Now, that does not mean that a woman or a girl is going to find you attractive. If you're ugly, she's probably not. What she will find attractive is that side hobby that you have. Maybe it's you like to race cars once every 3 months, and she likes fast cars. You could be hideously ugly, but if you're a dude in a car, in a fast car, and you're going to the raceway, and you see somebody that's hanging out, hey, you want to hop in the car? Maybe you put a YouTube video or a Facebook post out saying, hey, I'm going to be going to the raceway, this, whatever. If anybody wants to join me, let me know. Who knows, right? It's not like you're expecting at this point much. Most of these guys are having problems just existing and waking up every single day. So it's not like you're expecting much. What does it hurt? The bigger issue is, and the bigger solution is at hand, you have to find something to plug yourself into, whether it's a fake matrix, a real matrix, or something. You have to get into something that you love to do, because without you having a passion for anything, there's not going to be a start, or there's not going to be a passion that ignites anybody else's flames either. You have to have something that you want to do that makes somebody else say, wow, I like that you do that. Once that process starts, then you can start worrying about the rest of the stuff later. But in order to have a woman in your life in the first place, you have to have a life. You know what I mean? If you want a woman in your life, you need to have a life. So make something of yourself. Make a small life. This is my life here, as small as it might be. It's a podcast. I go do my little thing outside. I go to my little places I need to go to, and I try and make something, make some sort of environment that I can plug into, that it would be fun for somebody else to plug into with me, right? I don't do a million crazy things. I'm not out here. I'm not necessarily the most fun guy in the world. There's always going to be somebody else that's more fun. There's always going to be somebody else that's more better looking. Now, I know we're talking about you having no choice, no chance whatsoever with women because you're so ugly, you're so boring, you're so awkward, whatever it might be, smelly, greasy, I don't know. You're so whatever. I get that. But you're probably not the smelliest. You're probably not the ugliest. You're probably not the swooviest, right? Take pride in that. Just like you say there's always somebody better, hey, there's got to be somebody out there worse. Don't let that person that's worse than you be working harder than you, though, because if they're working harder than you, they're going to get better results. If I decide to take time off and I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'll just podcast whenever I want. I pretty much got the skills to do it when I need to. And I don't hold to a schedule like I pretty much do right now. And I don't hold to a schedule consistently. And I don't do this and I don't do that. My channel's never going to grow. It doesn't matter how talented I am at podcasting. I still have to apply some modicum of diligence to that podcasting, right? Or else I'm never going to get good. I'm never going to be in that position to begin with. Very few people, I understand that that you think that good people are like, oh my God, they have everything given to them. And to some that they do, right? But very few people are that good looking to where it's just like, now, you can have a car given to you just because you're that good looking, especially guys. Very few people are that good looking to where it's like their entire existence is that much easier, right? I was watching a video and I'm gonna try and find this for a second. I'm gonna try and find this because I might get some flack for this video, but this video was explaining as we wrap this thing up. I'll open up the panel up one more time. I want to thank you for joining. Clover Tech's in the building. Clover Tech's in the building. Good to see Clover Tech. I found this video and it was a transgender. Let's pull this up, huh? It's a transgender, and it was a transgender male. Transgender male talks about being a male. And this transgender male was on camera saying some things. Let's go ahead and watch this. Let me know if you can hear the audio coming out of this because I am sharing the audio. So we should be clear, good to go. Man, it's good to have Clover Tech in the building. My favorite gun channel's in the building, man. Good to have Clover in the building. Let me know if you can hear this. You should be able to.
Nobody told me how lonely being a man is. But to have known, and I think a lot of trans men feel this, is we knew what depth felt like before we transitioned. We knew what it felt like to like have people want to hug us. And to have people want to talk to us.
So we're gonna scene switch right now just to make sure that we're actually hearing that audio. The scene switch just to make sure we're hearing that audio.
If I had a feminine side, I would feel bad about what I'm getting ready to say. I don't have a feminine side.
I'm going to fast forward a bit so we can hear a little bit more of this confession here.
And women are than I've had in my 8 years of transitioning.
Let me just say this. It's not lonely being a man. Men just don't crave.
Okay, cool. Everything's good. Thank you, my love. Yeah, I just want to make sure we actually hear the audio that was playing through this particular incident. Trying some new things on StreamYard. So StreamYard has a feature where you can share your screen, and in the process of you sharing your screen, it changes some things around, so you can see it right there, right? But we can just kind of do that there and keep it there. But as long as you can hear it, we're all okay.
Nobody told me how.
So he says, nobody told me how difficult it was being a man.
Become a man to realize that this is how men are. Men are different.
Because this is lonely. And I'm an emotionally mature man.
No, you're not an emotionally mature man. You are an emotionally mature woman. What you're doing, what you're exhibiting, if a woman does that, that's fine. No one.
Now, I'm going to stop this video right here because I want to give a shout out to the brother who's given, some stern advice right here. This is what it sounds like when, you have a man in your life that can teach you and tell you and give you confidence. You see, the black pill, I start to realize for a lot of guys is just not having that masculine figure around to tell you, to give you that confidence that you needed growing up, to give you that background that you needed growing up, to tell you that, you're all right. You're going to be all right. You don't need to focus on being beautiful. Even if you're ugly, son, you still have worth, value, because men don't focus on being pretty, right? We focus on just making sure that the job gets done. Whatever the fuck the job is at the time, just figure out something to get done at some point, and we'll figure out the rest of the shit later, right? Some of y'all just need to really check your masculinity, right? Which is a reason why this entire word masculinity is so hot to begin with, because that's the key issue. Right? That's a big issue. A lot of you just are not masculine enough. You don't have it. Right? You're too lackadaisical. Start being more sure in yourself. If you have to, go to the doctor. Some of y'all might be low in testosterone. If you look a bit off, it might be a hormonal balance, right? I think that some of y'all might need to get checked out. You might have too high of estrogen levels going on. When I read these stories, and don't get me wrong, I'm an emotional ass nigga too. I'm an emotional ass motherfucker for myself, right? But I'm not like I'm more like rageful emotional. If I'm unsure emotional, I'll kind of talk things out, and then I'll eventually get confident in myself. But I'm not like looking at myself like, oh my God, I just don't, it's just, I'll have a phase for a while where I'm like, man, it's just fucked up, man. Like, I don't know, man. But eventually we're gonna find our way back to be in that perpetuality for years on end, to consume this content for years on end. The Kevin Samuels, all these different types of, to do that for years on end, and then to still be looking for solutions, having experienced, having read all these Reddit stories and posts, and there's nothing else anybody could tell you at this point anymore. It's up to you now to try and figure out to get some sort of meaningful worth out of your existence. That's the reality of it, because nothing else is going to change. And I'm sorry to tell you that. You're going to stay exactly as ugly as you are because you're not focusing on the right things. You're not focusing on the bright parts, even if it's only one bright part that you have. And I'm not talking about Breitbart, investment channel on television that we have here that's constantly giving bullshit advice in investing. I'm talking about focusing on the elements in your life that do shine bright. Dig deeper into those elements, because yet again, as painful as it's going to be for you to listen to me say this, nothing for you will change unless you start to make that change happen yourself. That's the way that this system is rigged. That's the way that this world is rigged. And unless you're willing to take yourself out of the system permanently, which I don't want you to do, I don't advise you to do. We don't want anybody to do that. You need to, and you can make it, get crisis help, call somebody in the mental health line, research the mental facilities that you want to check yourself into, because a lot of these mental facilities are not healthy for yourself. Call somebody who's a badass in life, in real life. If you're that ugly type of dude, find some guys who are really doing some real spit in real life, because guess what, guys? We don't care if the circles, if the group guys that we hang out with are ugly. We don't operate like that. Like like, you know what I'm like, we just have homies, you know what I mean? You might need to just go get some homies, right? You might need to just go get and borrow confidence from other real men, from other dudes, from coworkers. You might need to just fake the funk and surround yourself. Go to a damn strip club if you have to, and go look at the guys, the people who are in the dope boys, the whatever it might be, throwing money in the air, talking to women. If whatever it might be, you need to surround yourself with the mentality, or with the people that have the mentality of health that you're trying to get to, because you're not able to do it by yourself. It's very difficult to do it by yourself, especially when you yourself are the constant reminder of everything fucked up in life. You yourself are the person that you're trying to escape, because you don't like your image. You don't like the mirror. You don't like anything about yourself, right? So you can't dig yourself. In this case, if you're a true nihilistic black pillar, you're not going to be able to dig yourself out of this hole. You're going to need the assistance of other people. You're going to have to fake it until you make it. And you're going to have to find a life for yourself and find something worth living for. As the great Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "It is unfit for a man to live if he hasn't found anything worth dying for." I want to thank you, ladies and gentlemen, I do, for joining me on this episode. Remember that you can donate to support this podcast by giving on Cash App. And you also can donate on PayPal. All these donations go towards this podcast becoming even better. I want to thank everybody that's donated. I want to thank all my mods. I want to thank you for watching. This is going to be it for this episode of, my goodness, Parental Advisory. Make sure you like, make sure you share, make sure you subscribe, notification bell on. We will be back tomorrow with another episode at around this time. The future show schedule will be pinned very shortly. Until then, I will see you very shortly, and I love you very much. Goodbye and good night. Good day. See you later. Peace.